Are you a good boy? Are you ready to go faster? Are you ready to go fast?
Do you know what? All I want to say, Dix, is if he walked away from that conversation and said, fucking idiot, I say,
Job well done.
Jerry Maguire, who's coming with me?
Welcome to Idiots of F1. In the words of Bradley Cooper and Ed Helms from The Hangover, we are fucking back, baby. We are back. Diggs, if you could just play that over the top of this in the post, that'd be great.
Never done that
against
before.
all better judgment, against all evidence that this is a good idea, and ahead of what is genuinely the most chaotic Formula One season in living memory, we are back. If you're new here, hi, hello, pull up a seat or just fly kick the older person off the one nearest you. You've stumbled into a very specific kind of podcast. This is not the Telementary Show. This is not the ex-engineer breakdown. This is not the one where someone who actually knows what a diffuser does explains it to you earnestly for 45 minutes. Nope. This is the one where a group of self-proclaimed idiots, none of whom have ever driven an F1 car, most drive Mazdas or Nissans or some shit, but none of whom have actually ever been consulted by any team on any matter, sit down and make extremely confident statements about the most expensive sport in the world. And collectively, we've now been doing it for 4 years, which is either a testament to the quality of the content or a damning reflection of what else is available, or actually a Lewis Hamilton-esque resilience to never give up. Either way, you're here, we're here, and we appreciate you. I'm Ollie, the host of this chaotic shit show, and joining me, as always, Tay, Digby and Ev. Welcome back, you absolute idiots.
I'd just like to interject. You said that no one's ever asked us professionally for our opinion. I'll have you know that the words, "What do you think of our year so far?" has come out of Christian Horner's mouth directly to me. So, don't know if that counts for anything.
He was looking past you at Jerry Halliwell.
Mate, do you know how short this guy is? He was talking
just
into my
assumed.
chest.
You were like, oh, he's talking to me. You're so big, you blocked his line of sight.
She wasn't there.
True. Weirdly enough, though, that was for you as the rock star rather than the podcast.
He didn't actually. Yeah, he didn't really care what I thought. He was just like, "What do you guys think of Red Bull so far? Tell me how wonderful we are." And that, you know.
Do you know what? All I want to say, Diggs, is if he walked away from that conversation and said, "Fucking idiot," I say, "Job
well done."
Job done. Job done. All right. Hey, look. So following that disaster, we have a time-honored tradition on this show, the icebreaker. An opportunity to put my fellow idiots on the spot. Baby. So you can get to know just a little bit more about them and exactly why why they're idiots. These aren't serious questions. Well, they are for some, but not for us. So think of them as a formation lap. You are not serious people. Think of it as a formation lap. Just, getting the tires up to temp before we go full send. So
Plan C.
Stars and Stripes, rep of Red America. Yours is a regulation question. Because season 4, as we'll get into shortly, is all about the biggest rule overhaul in Formula One history. Ground effect, active aero, half electric engines. It's all so different that even the drivers are still trying to get their heads around it. So, if you had to explain the 2026 F1 regulations to a golden retriever, where do you even start?
Why? Give me this one.
Of course I'm going to put it on you.
Know. All right,
you don't mean why, you mean...
Yeah. Wait, Ev. I haven't even started yet.
Just quick. It's an icebreaker.
Are you a good boy? Are you ready to go faster? Are you ready to go faster? Are you ready to go shorter?
That's Lawrence talking to Lance, mate.
I'm shorter and I'm thinner and I'm faster and I got active aero.
Okay.
I got shitty engine with half and half of hybrid and combustion.
Okay. There you go. That was it was like the high pitch to get his tail wagging.
So happy. Like a golden retriever. Much like a golden retriever. Tay was
I've got a genuine question for you, Tay. Why is it so hard to say rough twice quickly in a row? Like, why is that actually so hard to say it?
Why the fuck are you asking me that?
Well, have you ever tried to say rough twice really quickly?
I'm not saying it for you.
Rough.
God damn it. Oh, good boy, Ev. Good boy.
I was going to say, the only golden retriever on the show.
We get it.
Evan, as soon as the thought pops into Evan's mind, he just shouts
fuck you, Tay.
Just talks. Ev just talks at the camera. No consideration for the actual
This is his moment. To be fair, he did get the rough in. Digby.
He's a fairy.
Rock star, wrestling star, painting star, and whatever fucking talent you've picked up in the off-season. Your question, mate. Right, here it is. Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion, the most decorated driver in the history of the sport. I probably should have said equal most decorated. He moved to Ferrari last year, the dream move, the fairy tale chapter, and went the entire 2025 season without a single podium. Not one. His first podium-less season in 19 years of F1. Brilliant. He finished Abu Dhabi, he packed up his shit, and he went home. From a scale of 1 to 10, how much did he cry in the car on the way home from Abu Dhabi? And what are you saying to comfort him?
So he's not crying. He's just staring.
Have you met my sister Kim?
Evan, wait your fucking turn, mate. Jeez, you talk some shit. Is there a mute button just for that? I imagine we're
can mute him.
we're sitting in the limo. I'm getting pretty drunk because I'm having a great time because I'm laughing. They're going, "I told you so, mate," but I can't say "I told you so." Anyway, we're sitting in the car. We're sitting in the limousine.
You're good.
Go.
He's staring out the window, looking mighty depressed, and I'm pretty drunk because I've been kicking back on the wines and the beers. And I say, "Head up, mate. Chin up, mate. It could be worse. You could be dating a Kardashian." And the rest is history.
Challenge accepted.
And he's sitting there.
What a long walk that was.
He's like, I could be dating a Kardashian. I'll prove Digby wrong. It's not that bad. And now here we are. And it's like...
That's the only reason.
Well,
that's the only reason.
He tried one and now it's on to the next.
Now it was a Kendall. Jenner.
It's all the same, mate. I don't know if that's better.
Up. Ev, the voice of reason, rationality, some may say. The idiot's very own attempt at a Warren Buffett. You get the business question. So Adrian Newey, the greatest car designer in Formula One history, Lawrence Stroll lured him into Aston Martin and reported $40 million a year. It's like something like $40 million a year.
Well, plus
and then Lance,
stock.
son of Lawrence, or same person if you believe in our Demi Moore, the substance movie theory that we proclaimed last year, comes out of preseason testing and says the car is 4 seconds off the other teams. So, Ev, if you're Lawrence Stroll, owner of Aston Martin, sitting in your chateau somewhere, staring at that bill for Adrian Newey, do you fire him? Do you fire Lance? Or do you physically fire the Honda engine into the sea?
Yeah, I would be...
Keep it short.
I would rather fire Honda. Given the last time that Honda were in the weeds, which was when they were with McLaren, they did not recover. I would fire them and then
he's gone to
give
serious
a blank
mode straight
check
away
to Toto Wolff. Just give me a Mercedes engine.
Give me a Mercedes engine. Okay. Okay.
That's all.
Yeah, after the weekend for sure.
Well, there you go. That went about as good as I could have hoped. We're already better than we were last year, but let's frame up what to expect from us this year because this is not a normal year for Formula One, and anyone telling you otherwise is obviously lying. This is, as I said earlier, the biggest regulation reset in the history of the sport. Every car has been built from scratch, and there are now 11 teams on the grid, with Cadillac making their long-awaited debut, whilst Audi have also turned up after repainting the many different iterations that existed before them. Stake F1, was it? I think being the last. Anyways, we've had drivers move. We've had cars. Well, I mean, they look somewhat the same to what they have every year. Nobody knows who's genuinely fast. We're just over a week away from the first race, and even the people who design these cars aren't entirely sure what's going to happen. And that chaos, that uncertainty, that absolutely beautiful mess is exactly what we're here for, because despite everything changing around us, it's still us, the same old idiots, brand new chaos. And this season on the show, you can expect the full lineup. So quick rehash for those new or potentially brain dead of our trademark segments. Obviously, they're not trademark. We've got Rear View Review, where we're going to race recap and break down every weekend with all the insider people who half watched it while doom scrolling on Twitter. We've got Grid Walk and Trash Talk, your tour around the upcoming race, where we'll give you some history lessons, fun, not boring, some predictions, but wrong, and everything you need in readiness for the upcoming race. And to the applause of thousands and thousands around the world, we will also welcome back Hush, You've Been Paying Attention, the quiz that tests how much of the F1 world we actually know or we've actually absorbed, which is always a humbling, if not chaotic exercise. And lastly, he's grabbing headlines, but he's always helping us with our headlines. It's What's Verstappen, our sprint through the hottest headlines, wildest takes, and whatever happened in the week that made us go, wait, what? But today's the season opener for us. No race to recap or preview yet. So instead, we're going to go over what's happened since we last spoke. The off-season, the driver chaos, the regulations, the testing headlines, the predictions, the drama. And this is all before a single wheel has actually turned in anger But gents, before we rip in, any last famous words from you lads?
I had a quick question for Taylor.
Yeah, go on.
So you said when you were talking to the dog that the cars were smaller and faster.
Her name's
But
Shan.
of all I've
pig.
heard from drivers, especially Alonso, saying they're so slow around the corners, even his chef could race this car. Would that not imply that they're slow? What am I missing?
I think the expectation was that we're going to be faster and more agile. What the reality is telling us is something quite different. I mean,
Okay,
that's
so the implication is that they're faster, but they're too easy to drive or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's shit.
Yeah, and I think the biggest issue is the battery stuff that's coming out.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to all of that. Yeah.
We've
Don't
got
say
a
too
lot to
much.
get through. Don't say too
La,
much.
la, la, la.
But let's get into it. Diggs, hit that audio transition, buddy.
You got to work your way up to it.
So welcome back to Rearview Review. As mentioned, normally this is where we slam it into reverse and recap the race just gone, but today there is no race just gone, and instead we're going to look back to 2025 as we look to move forward. But one question, just to set the tone, and please try and figure out the order in which you're going to come, otherwise I'll start pointing and nominating you.
You just
And looking
nominate
back
who you
at
want to
last
come
year's
first.
Bonnie
Mate. You just tell us who you want to come
Alright.
first.
All right, I won't body lure.
You're the one on your back, mate. I'll defer.
Is there anything that you genuinely wish had gone differently last year? So not a prediction and not a take, just
Well,
something
lettuce.
you personally wanted to go a different way.
Yeah.
Diggs, I'm going to start with you.
I think we should all avoid the obvious, which is we wish Oscar had won the championship. But I wish what I actually wish is that even though he ended up being okay at the end, I wish George Russell had been more of a contender and more of a competitor to make it a bit more interesting, rather than just being Max.
You still haven't given up on George. You're
Well,
still
It's because it
frothing over that
was
bloke
more
for
that it
years.
was more that he was fourth. Like I like George. It was more that he was fourth and he was consistent, but he was never really in touch. It was never a
just
threat.
never really in it.
Whereas Max,
Yeah.
it's like
Okay,
so,
alright.
so that would have been nice to see 4 people in it.
Okay. So more of gorgeous George up on the
Diggers
podium
is going to
for
write
Diggs.
Digby on his foot, on George's foot.
How am I going to do
Go
that?
Tay on that. Tay, what's the one thing? And do not bang on about Lando. I'm going to cut that off right now.
Fuck yeah!
Come
I
on,
know,
there's going to be
exactly.
something you wish for that
I
happened
know.
last year.
Naturally, I wish that Lewis did much better than he ended up doing. And that's one of the things, right? Because he did get a podium. He got it in the sprint in China.
Doesn't
Doesn't
count.
count.
But no
Doesn't
one
count.
seems to count it.
Doesn't count. Doesn't
No,
count. That's
no,
why.
it
It's still a fucking.
Doesn't. That's like
it's
saying,
still
oh,
a
but he got
money-making
first in the
gimmick.
qualifying.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Pull your head in. But
Okay, I
that's
like
what I'd
that
be
one.
saying
I
to
like
Lewis.
that. And actually, we're
Yeah,
going to
I
touch on
think
Lewis a bit.
That's what Kim
I
said.
wish Lewis had done better.
Okay.
Not
Ev?
yet. We don't know yet. It's private.
Well, I thought we're not allowed to talk about that, Digby. Oh,
We will get to it.
I
I
Let's
didn't,
go,
I didn't talk
Evan.
about it. I didn't talk about it.
What do you look back on and wish happened last year, Ev?
Yeah, in all honesty, I wish that it
Honestly.
meant more.
Oh.
Because everybody's like has already forgotten that Lando won last year.
No, I think just
No,
you guys.
they haven't. No one has forgotten that. In fact, everyone's
But
still
because all we're
angry
doing
about
is
it.
talking about the new cars and the new regulate. It's like the last.
It's called publicity.
Chap-
Ev.
Okay, so I got a
didn't
question for
happen.
you. I got a question for you, Ev. Is that not the same that happened with Verstappen? He just won 4 in a row, and before that, Lewis so many in a row that it all just like that's what happens. But
Yes.
yeah, okay.
No, it's exactly the same.
But
Now, I
just
guarantee
taking that back,
first
I actually
race,
like that.
all they're
There's-
going to
there's-
talk about is Lando being the champion, and we're going to be pretty
No,
sick
because
of
they're
it.
British
no
commentators.
Oh,
way.
mate.
No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. But no,
Yeah.
no, they're all. I think Mercedes are going to be so. That infographic was insulting to the FIA, not just.
Let's
other
get to it.
teams.
Let's
I know
get
that.
to it.
I know that.
Yeah.
But then
So you
on
go
top of that,
early.
you've got
You blow
everybody
your
wanting
load early, mate.
Ferrari
You'll
to
get your
win because
chance.
everybody
yeah.
Get
wants
your
Ferrari
chance.
to win.
No, they
There's
don't.
nothing
No, they don't.
about Lando in all of the all the champ. He's the champ. He's got number 1 in his car. Good for him.
Default champ.
Yeah.
But it's like
Oh, come on.
nobody cares. And I just feel bad.
Go into
His
England. Go
ex-girlfriend
to
doesn't
England.
care.
Oh,
But he liked 2 of her posts. It doesn't count.
No.
Anyways, look, hold your thoughts on some of that stuff, okay? It's all very good. Look, acknowledging that I was away for the second half of the season and didn't get to partake in this podcast glory, I've pulled together a list of what I think were a few moments that define 2025, and I want your takes as we go. Regrettably, this is going to start with Lando.
I don't think you regret that at all, to be honest.
Because look,
cut him off, Digby. Cut him off, mate. What are you doing?
If we look back at the reality of like the biggest moments of the year, Lando Norris proving doubters wrong and being crowd world champion is a moment. So we're going to start here because there's a lot in this, all right? And we don't need to dig up old graves and we don't need to retread old pathways. I'm looking at all three of you. Yeah, leave that fucking scab alone. But look, after years of being questioned, and let's be honest, questions that continued all the way through a huge chunk of last year, the social media darling who people claim couldn't close went on to become the 2025 Formula One World Drivers' Champion. And all coming down to the final race, which, Ev, it's interesting that you said, actually, I don't remember what you said. What did you say? Nothing was very memorable about last year? Oh, it didn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything, right?
I wish it.
Which is interesting because I didn't.
More.
No,
because
okay.
all this is done. All the talk about Lewis and Max and all of this. The fact that Lando didn't overtake Max or Oscar the whole season. It's a bit like in the Premier League. If you never beat Man City,
it doesn't really count.
If you're Liverpool and you still win, it's
like if
not
you win the Rugby World Cup and you
game.
didn't beat the All Blacks or South Africa, did you really win
All
the
Blacks?
World Cup?
Yeah, fair enough.
That's right.
Good point. Good point. Okay, but my point being, right, is that everything that happened last year was a Formula One dream on the basis that it all came down to the final race. You had three drivers that could still win it, and I think that's pretty epic. And look, you have to give it to him. He didn't win the race, but he did clinch it in Abu Dhabi.
But he won our
finished
hearts.
third.
I mean,
he won
this
some.
The world champion.
Is this the world champion hotline? Fucking Zach Brown.
Can we make that a segment this year? Can we make that a segment this year? Just everyone has to come up with like the worst radio comms from Zach Brown every week.
Yes,
I would love that. Even if it's just one
in
or two
general,
of us.
I think we can find some real doozies. But look, let's just get back to it because again, he only finished 2 points in front of Max, and I'm going to touch on Max later because I think we have to acknowledge that he was nowhere to be seen, and then suddenly almost won the championship.
Prize, motherfucker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I
McLaren took back-to-back champions.
I want to ask Ol a question here because you weren't here at the end of the season. You didn't really get a chance to argue with us because we all pretty much agreed a lot.
I never stop arguing with you guys.
Were you in the boat that we were clearly in where we're like everyone kind of just wanted Max to win because it felt like Max had earned it more than anyone else? Yeah. It was
second half, 100% did.
Well, listen, there's a couple of things, and this kind of ties into, I guess, where I was going with, Lando winning this championship because it's great for Lando, but fuck, McLaren made hard work of it. And this is what I meant. Like, he did actually have to get through a lot of challenges, Oscar being one. But I think Oscar, and some people will suggest that it was McLaren. I think Oscar proved he wasn't ready for a championship because he only ended up with like 4 podiums in the final 10 races after being the best driver for that first half of the season. So, yes, there were a couple of moments which team strategy could be blamed, but I think Lando won it. Oscar didn't lose it. But
I love this being on video because
my
world famous eye roll. Oh my God. Every week.
You can hear it.
World famous.
Well, I didn't know it was a thing until one of my mates was like, Digby and his eye roll.
So your missus called you out on it.
No, my mate. And then 3, including Nat.
I thought that was his O-face.
Yes, the fucking eye roll. It's like, I didn't even know that was the thing.
Yeah.
But here we are.
It's like, fuck the eye roll.
Yeah.
But I
here
think,
it comes again.
And I think it's crazy that Max ended up only missing out on that championship by 2 points, which ironically, and you guys may remember, there was a race where some bad call resulted in him in, the penalty, the 10-second penalty he got, which questionably shouldn't have been a penalty many races ago.
That happened to Oscar too, so you could say
overtake.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, it's just crazy to suggest that like Max could have been a 5-time world champion. And to your point, Diggs, yes, I was going for Max, not because I wanted Lando to lose, but because it would have been such a nod to the champion driver that Max Verstappen is. And
yeah, it would have been
somebody that
nice
I've
for him to
got so much
prove-
more respect for recently.
Yeah, it would have proven anyone who doubted his ability to take that initial championship. It would have been like, no, he's
Because it's a shit
genuine-
car.
because Yuki was nowhere to be seen. So it was like, he's genuinely
No, that's
proving
right. It's a
anyone who
shit
had
car.
any doubts.
And
then
he
I think
never
it's
will
important
be.
to see. And I think that's what Lando has to do this year. He needs to show us that he is max potential without the
Is
assistance
deserving.
of McLaren. So what I mean is,
Yeah.
regardless
Yeah.
if it's
Agreed.
we need more than Oscar to be against him, so we McLaren can't put their little fucking
Well, we're
donut
going to get
covered
to
hands.
what
Pieces
we
together.
think is going to happen to
Is that
McLaren
salad
later.
dressing on my pants?
But listen, now that you've all had the time to calm down, unfortunately, I think you've given it away already. But if you were able to remove any bias or, I guess, distaste for the outcome, bearing in mind, obviously, we have lots of Lando fans listening to the pod. Yeah, I mean, are you happy now? I mean, do you sit back and go, yeah, you know what? Yeah, Lando deserved it. Good on him. Fuck yeah. Now move on to the
I
next
don't know if you
season.
listened
Like,
to the podcast last year, but no. No.
well, that's why I'm asking you. Since the time has
No.
gone, how
Dust
do you
has
feel
settled.
now?
Feel stronger.
The dust has
I
settled.
feel stronger.
You know what will wind me up about it is when he starts rolling through, like if he does a Nico Rosberg, and he just fucking ends up being a commentator and a narrator or whatever
A
the
what?
fuck.
I
Are
love
you
Rosberg.
right, man? Are you having a stroke? What's going
A
on?
commentator.
Yeah,
If he ends up, commentator.
I think you go.
Oh, sorry.
Commentator.
And he's there just acting as if he's like the world's greatest.
Like
that was
Karun.
starting to piss me off.
Like
The
Karun
problem
telling
is,
us how to
right,
drive
the thing
car.
is like when I see him, when I see him just like being chill, and this is the same goes with
He's cool.
seeing Max outside of
Mm-hmm.
F1 when they're just, you can see their real personality and them just being themselves. He's a fun dude. He looks like
He's
he
a
has a
cool
good laugh.
dude.
Fun boy.
Yeah. So I got like, it's nothing personal.
Okay, all right. I'm sure he's not taking it personally. Fuck it.
Broke up with who? Was a world
just
champ
wanted to know.
not enough for her?
It's big-
I don't know what this is.
I just
It's
actually,
because
it's
Ev
funny.
wants
It's
the
funny.
Evans.
It's
6'7".
funny that it's funny, Ev, that you've just kind of gone straight to the girlfriend thing, because I distinctively remember about this time last year having a conversation, and
He was
you
belting off to her.
revealed to all the listeners that the reason you could identify the exact moment where you stopped liking Lando, and it was
yeah.
when he stopped being a virgin. Like,
No,
you
it
okay,
was
man?
when-
You
'cause
okay?
he was
You good?
no, because before last season he very funnily posted something about a post about like a shark going through a school of fish, and all the fish just like divert away from the shark, and it's like, oh, that's me at a nightclub. Like, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
We're the same
Hunt that one
person.
down.
I can relate.
Yeah, I can relate because people just run a mile from me too.
I'm the
says
little,
Ev.
I'm the minnow underneath the
Right,
shark.
okay, stop there. We're done with Lando. Right,
Yeah.
none of you have changed your opinions. It was a complete waste of everybody's time. Hey, look,
They're
moment
fleeing
number
both
two.
of us
People
equally.
love us more.
Moment number two that I think is of huge relevance, and to be honest with you, other than the fact that Lando won his first championship, is probably the moment of last year. Christian Horner dismissed from Red Bull. So 20 years, 8 drivers champs, 4 constructor championships.
Unfinished business.
Gone. After the British
Nobody
Grand Prix, Horner, who had
Oh.
survived a fair amount of controversy in his time, and what felt like the entire paddock trying to push him out, was finally let go. We'll be talking about what's happened since in a later segment, so I'm not going to steal our own thunder here. But as a moment in 2025, where does this land for you guys? Was this the
Yeah.
biggest off-track bomb of 2025 season for you? Was it the biggest paddock story of the decade? Yeah,
I
did it
think-
catch you off guard? I mean,
I
yeah,
think the
when it
writing was on
happened.
the wall, and it was probably 6 months too late.
I think it was a
I,
stupid
what
move.
I
Yeah,
can
okay.
say, because he's popped up recently, what I can say, and I think that it's a damning comment, is that nobody cares.
He's gone?
This was the biggest. Yeah, it was such a scandal. And
You mean
we're
no one
6
in the F1 actual world,
Like
like
the
the
paddock.
principals,
Yeah,
the drivers,
we have
Max?
we have
Yeah.
moved on.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
I think
gives
that's
a shit.
Well, I think that's a really good point you make, because it's a good reminder that it doesn't matter how good or how big you are in a sport or some sort of like sports entertainment. You think it's going to be this big fanfare when you go and everyone's going to miss you. No one will miss you. Toto
Yeah.
will go. No one will miss him. Someone just replace him, and we're all
I'll
just
miss him.
concentrating
The
on what's going
Toto
on this
missed
year. You know what I mean?
Christian.
Jerry Maguire. Who's coming with me?
Yeah. And you have to leave with fucking Renee Zellweger.
I've got the
Steve
goldfish.
Carell. I'm making a
Christian
new
Horner's
paper
got the
company.
goldfish from the
Yeah,
reception
that's
of
good,
Red
Ev.
You know, that's
Bull
like when
Racing.
Danny left. We were all worried about Danny leaving. No one cared about Danny not being there. No one even mentioned
It's
him last
fine.
year. You know, it was like maybe a couple of.
I'll tell you what,
couple of
I have
moments.
missed him a lot this offseason.
Yeah.
I've
Not.
missed him a lot.
Same.
I
I'm
think
not.
he really? No, not Horner. I'm talking about Ricardo.
I know who you're talking about.
No, so is Digby.
Oh.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah,
you missed it. You missed a few episodes.
We're all ahead of you here.
So what I was going to say,
Okay.
is, with being forgettable and stuff, Danning is very good without being a champion, about being a very good figurehead for the sport. So I guess if anyone's going to be missed, he's going to be one. I think Lando needs to be doing a better job being a figurehead for F1 as the champion. Like Lewis is always a
What,
figurehead.
the number one doesn't do it for you, bro?
Well, you got to do something with it. You can't just hide from Lewis and Max are some of the most
You've got to
talked
date a
about
Kardashian,
drivers in the world, and Lewis wasn't even on a podium last year. And no one's
I
talking.
hear
No one's
Kendall's
really talking
available.
about Lando. Like no one cares. Like more people were talking
Oh,
about
God,
Oscar
so
last
much
year than
Lando
Lando.
hate.
It
There we
doesn't.
go, we
It
got
doesn't
Digby.
have the same power. It
It
doesn't
has
seem
nothing
to
to do
have
with
the
his
same
driving. I'm just
standing.
saying, as a presence, he didn't suddenly.
Maybe
have this,
she left him.
I'm hoping
We
that
don't know.
changes
These
this year
aren't
because
things
I
we
think
know.
it's.
Fuck
I think it's required.
Fuck
but
off. Yeah,
Lewis
fair
is.
enough.
Yeah.
Some
Hey,
people are just
uh,
better at making
I
headlines.
hear
Lewis
you.
is doing
I hear you,
a
Diggers.
bang up job.
Yeah.
Tay, you mentioned Toto. I'm assuming you're talking about his. Well, let's try and avoid too many WhatsApp discussions or message discussions involving Horner. But you're talking about the message interaction
Nice.
between Horner and Toto.
Yeah, just in the sense of like he misses, whether you love or hate that relationship. It was the fact that he was good, I guess, to some extent, being, the good and evil, depending on
Yeah,
which way
yeah.
you saw it between the two teams. And because at that time they were the biggest rivals, those two team principals having those, arguments or fights or whatever was
To make good
drama.
showbiz, baby.
Yeah,
good
yeah.
showbiz. Yeah,
And I
Drive
think,
to Survive
and,
loved it.
and I think, and to be honest, Toto's, whether he liked him or not, still had respect for him for what he was able to achieve.
Right,
I don't know.
moment number
I don't know.
3.
These aren't
Now
things
this
I
is
know.
less. This is less than a moment, and probably a collection of moments. Tay, you've already alluded to it. Digby, you spoke to him in the cab after Abu Dhabi. Moment number 3 is an awful year for Ferrari and for Lewis. So I don't think any of us fully appreciated at the start of 25 just how bad it was going to be or get. Lewis Hamilton, as I said, arguably the greatest of all time by most, if not all metrics. He went the entire season without a podium, and it wasn't just the results. I really want to be clear. It's not just the results that were pretty challenging. It was the demeanor, the press conferences, the radio messages,
CEO.
The world
the
was
strategy
me.
disasters, the public unraveling of a relationship between a driver and a team in real time. Are you mad at me? And the reply of silence is going to live on forever. And you can't
Sure.
forget Charles either, let alone the relationship and public airing of their dirty laundry. It must be the water became one of the greatest inadvertent comedy moments in Ferrari's long and storied history of comedy moments. And at the end of the day, Lewis finished multiple qualies and races behind Charles. So Ferrari were genuinely the worst of the best teams on the grid rather than the best of the worst. But be honest, upon reflection, at the end of last year, did you feel that Ferrari ruined Lewis Hamilton, or did Lewis Hamilton arrive at Ferrari already running on fumes? Diggs, what do you got, big guy?
I don't think it's either. I think it's both. I think we already knew what happened to good drivers when they go to Ferrari, let alone drivers at the end of their tether on the way to Ferrari. And I think my biggest issue, which some of you guys may have got sucked into, or you were just hoping for the best, was that the press kept talking like this was some dream combination, as if Ferrari had been dominating for 10 years, and suddenly Lewis, the best driver and the second best team, finally had the chance to go to Ferrari, where in reality, he'd been in the best team, and he was going to a team that had been classically struggling for a decade, a few wins here and there. And suddenly
it was romantic, though, wasn't it?
But
the idea of it was romantic.
But it's what I hate about the press. They knew what they were doing, and they knew that people would get caught with the romance of it.
No, but
actually
also
knowing
that's
that wasn't going to happen.
You, Digby, you're in the press now.
Well, okay,
That's
and I sat there and I said,
Schumacher
I gave
did.
I gave Ollie 3
Ferrari.
weeks. I gave Ollie 3 weeks to change his mind, and he, good on him.
You did. I
Stuck by
thought he
his
was going to
guns,
win it all.
Stuck by his guns, and I didn't get my chance to rub it in. I can't remember if we did record me rubbing it in anyway. in case.
Probably.
But, yeah,
I mean,
probably.
the last time you recorded rubbing was awkward for everyone.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
Could be worse.
We didn't need to be in the room.
Dating Kim Kardashian. What is good though is that he made his downfall before he met Kim. Usually, sports stars don't have their downfall until after they meet her.
Rock meet bottom, Diggs.
Nailed it. That's a hell of a bottom, by the way.
Yeah, he's at the trough. He's coming back.
Yeah, Lewis is
back.
bottom.
Look, I want to throw to Ev because Ev, you were a massive Lewis advocate, fan, loyalist. You loved the Silver Arrows when he was there. You loved what he had done. I think what he's done in F1 is incredible. Tay, just to your point, he's not Schumacher because Schumacher at least went to Ferrari when he was quite young, if not earlier in his career. Lewis is at the end of his career. Ev, I mean, was it genuinely heartbreaking for you, or did you just get the fuck over it? Like, it got a bit tiresome, all the, like, woe is me stuff. Maybe I'm being a little unfair.
I think it speaks to a greater kind of
here we go. He's getting
the bigger image of the Formula One, where you can't either we go back to not having a cost cap, and someone like Mercedes will just outspend everybody by tenfold, or you come into this season and it's like Ferrari can't do anything because their hands are tied because they don't have any money under the cap because they already made a shit car and they can't afford.
You talking last year?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's really.
So why wouldn't Lewis wait? Why would he go last year?
And that's what I was just going to say. I think he should have just stayed that last year at Mercedes for the last year of that.
His contract, he wouldn't have gotten a 1-year contract at Mercedes.
Yeah.
And I think part of his team's argument was that I think Mercedes only wanted him for a short term because obviously they saw the
next round. Yeah.
So, and they weren't giving him what he wanted. As same with any athlete that's over the age of 30, and they think, well, I want a 5-year contract, and like every team's like, you get a 6-month contract. Right?
What are you talking about? Alonso gets like a 6-year contract.
He's going to get one till 75.
I think this is the last year of his contract, or he has like the option. He's got a 1-year option.
Yeah, I think he's waiting to see how bad things go.
So I think he got hamstrung by himself, and Ferrari have been, and that CEO.
The hammer got hamstrung. That's a good way to end it.
CEO Shut the fuck up. Sucks.
Moment number 4, again, more of a collection of moments. I want to call out driver replacements. So I thought Lawson and Doohan were big moments last year. So these two stories, I guess, deserve a mention because they're genuinely pretty chaotic. Liam Lawson lasted just 2 races at Red Bull, replaced by Yuki. And then at Alpine, where Jack Doohan got 6 races before Briatore pulled the trigger. We're going to dig more into what this all means for 26 in the next section. But there's moments of pure team drama and mess in 2025, and I think it's fair to say that the whole second driver at Red Bull issue is something that Christian might have worn a bit of the flack for. They both made the sport feel like a bit of a reality TV show, actually more like Australian politics, and people just coming and going when they're right. But upon reflection and time, gents, do you think they were the right moves for both Red Bull and Alpine? And sitting here now before the season starts, do you have any hot takes for any driver movement that you'd like to call out now for 2026?
I think we all had a big complaint about the Doohan thing. I don't mind if you want to change a driver, but don't act like it's a performance-based issue. How refreshing would this sport be if they came out and go, look,
Agreed.
My hands are tied, Argentina's
He's
still in my bed with money. What would you do? You're taking the money. Fuck off, Doohan. Where it's like, we'll see how his racing goes, and if he does right, Doohan got the same amount of points. 5 races. Same amount of points.
I never said that. that.
Yeah. So what's on the internet, mate?
It came out recently that part of Briatore coming to out. It only came out this week that he only joined. One of his stipulations was that Renault give up their engine department wholesale, and they take on Mercedes engines.
Wait, who coming on board?
Flavio Briatore.
Oh.
And it's like,
okay.
Like Renault dominated the 90s, like incredible pedigree with engine. Like it just needs more investment. It doesn't need to be. Okay. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater.
To Digby's point, the irony of Colapinto, who is back on the grid this year,
Kit Kat.
He had, what did he have? He had 18 races compared to Doohan. yet they both finished on the same amount of points. The only drivers, mind you, to have 0 points for the whole season. So I think it's fair to say that we could probably all agree that maybe that wasn't a move that paid off, at least performance-wise, but we don't know what happened off.
Obviously, we love to speculate. I thought Doohan got a lot more camera time in the short time he was there. They did a few things on the rookies early on, and Doohan was on camera a lot, and you never ever heard from Colapinto.
So the sponsors would have been happier about that.
I think the F1 would have done better. I think it would have been better for the F1 to have Doohan than have Colapinto, regardless of what it meant for Alpine.
To be fair, he's a Nepo baby.
Did anyone remember? Oh, they're all Nepo babies.
F1 Nepo baby.
Did anyone remember that Lawson actually drove for Red Bull? I forgot. Oh, come off. We're not going through this.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
How could you forget?
You're such a dumbass.
I'm Liam Lawson.
No, he's thinking about me.
Oh. How could you forget about Liam Lawson? Because I remember all the hype about him, all the Will Buxton. I'm going to call him out.
I forgot.
Banging on about like the combination with Max and how cool and bravado and
and Liam Lawson was like, it's going to be my yard.
First you got to finish.
You're so bad. I forgot all about
the way that he treated Danny as well.
Hey, what do you expect?
I like Liam now. It's funny. Swings and roundabouts. Hey, anyone got any hot takes about what you think might happen this year?
Bottas is going to beat Hamilton.
For the sake of it. I'm talking about driver movements. We'll get to predictions and shit later.
You mean
like
movement.
Literally, because that's what we're talking about.
Sorry.
No, I don't think, no move.
I don't think there's going to be too much movement. I think teams probably have learned from last year that was ridiculous.
Are there any?
Okay, can I throw out two?
And people.
Yeah. Can I throw out two? All right. My first take.
Can you?
And this, I'm wrapping it into this because it fits the driver movement. I will tell you right now. And please call me out at the end of the season, everyone online. But Oscar Piastri will announce he's leaving McLaren at the end of the season.
I agree. I don't even think that's a hot take. I think that's a cool take.
That's my first take. And my second take is that Lance Stroll is in his last year of F1. He
retires. He announced his retirement.
He will announce his retirement to pursue other endeavors.
Here's a hot take.
I'm doing 24-hour Le Mans.
Here's a hot take. Is that Oscar will replace Alonso to be the number 2 driver at Aston Martin with Lance Stroll. That is a hot take.
Aston. Number
2 driver.
Behind Lance Stroll. I don't know. Green's not really Oscar's colour. I think he's struggling green.
What colour do you think?
Anything else from 2025 that you think deserves a mention before we move on? Anything we've covered that, or anything we haven't covered that you've been saving up or holding on to?
I mean, we should say goodbye to Yuki because he's done.
Sayonara.
Okay, bye, Yuki. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
There you go. That's it. So look, we're going to move on. We've got 22 seats, so 11 teams for those that are doing the math. And remarkably, we've only got one rookie. One. So last year, I think there were 5. I think everyone was suggesting that Lawson was a rookie, but, he had been around. So we had 5 rookies on the grid in round 1 last year. But this year, the entire grid has a grand total of 1 driver making their debut. Fuck, here we go. We're going to start with the pronunciations and really fucking up. Arvid Lindblad.
Did you say Sinbad?
Sinbad, yeah.
I love Sinbad.
So for the racing ball, so he's 19 years old.
90s comedian Sinbad.
He's already outpaced Lawson in preseason testing. Good for the young lad. Not so great for Liam, who now obviously has the honor of being outrun by the person who replaced him. Question for the group. 1 rookie on the grid, gents. Is that good for F1, or do we want more chaos and more youth like last year's rookies?
They didn't give us
that class was brilliant. Not just for content, but also for, what's your take?
Yeah, you got to give at least the rookies need at least a few years. You can't replace all of them. I think, it's great. I'm surprised that there's even one new one, to be honest.
Yeah. Come
on. Yuki could have stayed another season.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
He was doing great in
it's neither here or there, I guess. We'll be interested to see how he goes, considering it's in
Did you see Yuki break the front wing of that demonstration Red Bull?
Oh.
Yep.
We're going to get to that.
I'm happy.
You never read anything. Fuck, you're painful.
I'm happy that there are less rookies. I found last year to be rather painful having to hear about the rookies every week. And especially with my mate, Antonelli. God, he was shit. and they kept talking about him like he was the next big thing, and everyone kept pretending like he was doing better than Russell was going to go to Red Bull. It's like, no, he's not. He's shit. He's genuinely shit. So thank God there's no more rookies.
It's going to get awkward in a second. Let's quickly talk about the Red Bull second seat, right, situation. So, yeah, we've crisscrossed over Red Bull, but look, in the space of barely one season, Red Bull went from Perez to Lawson, Yuki, and now they've gone for Hadjar. So Isaac Hadjar, who by all accounts had a pretty good rookie season last year. We got 4 drivers in one seat. Not to be a negative Nance here, but Hadjar has already crashed in Barcelona testing. He crashed out on the warm-up lap of his first ever F1 race last year when he was at the Racing Bulls. Is a new car with new regulations actually the perfect time to come in because everyone's learning, or is he walking into a death trap and will soon join a long list of Verstappen shadows that includes obviously Yuki, Lawson, Perez, but then you got Albon, Gasly, Ricciardo, the list goes on. Tay, what's your take on it?
I hope he just manages to be consistent. That's all I want from him. I hope.
Well, Yuki was consistently shit, but he was consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
He was still there.
All right. Let me rephrase that. I hope that he brings the gap between him and Max closer than any previous Red Bull driver since Danny. I hope he actually can bring it in. As for, again, he's still a rookie. He's still trying to it's a brand new car. He only got 1 year with the last car. So he's still learning those cars and those type of F1 cars. So, everyone has crashes or has moments like that. And it was a lapse in judgment.
So, okay.
if I may,
you may.
Everybody, if you're, around our age, middle age or whatever.
Young, mate, with chicken still.
Yeah. You've worked at enough companies where you've seen someone take a really big risk. What I'm trying to say is that they've gone through a period where they've chopped and changed drivers willy-nilly because of Helmut Marko and Christian Horner, and they've never had any oversight. Now you've got a new team principal.
Yep, who seems to be doing a good job.
Nobody has the appetite. Nobody's such an arsehole where they're going to be chopping and changing drivers like they're shitting their pants or something. So, and then on top of that, if you're the head of Red Bull Global or you're part of the board, right, you go, well, all right, we've gotten rid of Christian Horner. We've gotten rid of the other guy, Helmut Marko, who's also destabilizing. It's going to be stable from now.
Hold on. You say that these are the same guys that delivered 8 world championships between the two of them.
Not in the way that a corporation operates business to be conducted.
Okay, that's fair.
On top of that,
speculated fair
old
point.
School.
On top of that, you have the sunk cost of an engine development company. What we make energy drinks of multiple flavors, and that's it.
Multi-billion dollar.
We sponsor X Games and what have you. Yeah, right. And that works so well, and it always has, and it probably always will. There's really no Monster Energy is not coming in.
All right, stay on track, big guy. I like where you're going, but you're losing me on Monster Energy.
Well, I can't remember what the question was, but my point being...
Fuck it. Right, look, let's swing your attention to the new kids on the block. We're going to talk about Cadillac, the new team that brings 2 very familiar faces back to the grid. We've got Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas. Between them, they've got 500 combined starts. They've got 16 wins. 3,500 championship points, both pushed out of their seats at the top of the grid. So, both in theory, possibly past their peak, maybe. Question I want to put to you guys, a team with 2 former number 2s from 2 different top 2 teams, who ends up being the number 2 at Cadillac?
If I may, my astute analogy here, powers that be, both of these guys are like, if you've ever been camping,
here we go.
Right? If you've ever been camping and it's been miserable,
Right.
And on purpose. They do it on purpose.
Can I 2 times you on this? Like, speed you up?
Right.
5 times it.
Imagine being miserable, wet, cold. You're like 14. Right? You've got a book of matches. You've got the little redhead matches, right?
Only keep the details that are needed, Ev.
You've got the match. You got matches, and you've got to like. I need to like heat up a tin of beans or something.
Come here. Story after story.
If you take a match and you got to strike it, and the match doesn't strike,
I'm right there in the bush.
Throw that away. Get another match.
I'm drenched, Ev. I'm absolutely drenched.
You keep doing this, and it doesn't light. Those are what those two guys.
Just take out a lighter.
Are the personification of
an unlit match
that cannot light to save your life.
That is so. What the fuck is
so
wrong
ridiculous.
with you? Oh my God.
Okay,
you're welcome.
It's kind of a decent lead on from that question. But is Cadillac Gents position themselves as the retirement village, or is it the comeback story driven by some smart thinking from Cadillac to bring in experience rather than bold, young but brash talent?
I really want them to do well because one, I love the car.
Who doesn't like a Caddy?
Like the car looks awesome.
Well, you're an American, so yeah. Oh, you're talking about the actual F1 car, not the Cadillac brand.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit about the Cadillac itself.
Fair enough.
No, the car looks awesome. The livery is done great, and I love Bottas. I want him to like almost
adopted Australia now, by the way.
Yeah, no, of course he has with the mullet. I want him to get that opportunity to prove himself as being a number 1 driver.
Okay. He had that at Alfa Romeo, but sure.
Yeah, but Alpha was shit.
yeah, but I think Cadillac are going to be shit. Did you guys hear that? And their CEO has been quoted with saying there is no expectation for points from that team this year.
Yes. Yeah.
Yay.
This is just, it's almost like this is just a trial run.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, look, speaking of new teams, we've obviously then also got Audi, or as they were previously known, Stake, or Sauber, or Alpha. I mean, a team with more rebrands than race wins. Same 2 drivers, Hülkenberg and Bortoletto. But this is a first for the German manufacturer, German money, German engineering, German and Brazilian driver. And the question that nobody is saying out loud, but everybody is thinking, that I want to put to you 2 gents, is will they score a point before Cadillac does? Will they or Cadillac score any points?
I think they will. All of those. We've got how many sprint races do we have?
6.
Same
There's
as
always
last
a
year.
chance to get a point out of one of them.
I see. Okay, you're going. Yeah, I love that you've gone for that format.
Big picture.
Fair enough.
Big
picture.
Yeah, like Hamilton got his podium, but no one counts it.
Yeah.
That's right.
No one counts it.
That's right. That is exactly right.
Tay, are you expecting anything out of Audi? I'll tell you what. Talking about livery.
I know.
I love it. It's my favorite.
This is where it stands. It's Audi's number 1, then Caddy, and then I don't hate Ferraris, but anyways, Audi. I hope they do well. I love Hülkenberg, so hopefully he just manages to do a season like he did last year, where it was just fucking awesome for him.
Yeah, that's right.
He did so good.
Yeah.
So I hope he has the same sort of run this season.
He's like a baseball player that's like good in Moneyball. Like he just hits bases. He doesn't do anything. He's
just a team player.
Yeah,
just
that's
a
right.
team
What
player.
you're trying to say is that Fat Jonah Hill would recruit him. That's what I'm picking up there. Yeah. It's funny, actually. That's another Brad Pitt movie. Hey, before we move on, so across all 11 teams, all 22 drivers, a few quick fire questions for you idiots, all right? So I want you to shout out what comes to mind. Now, you need to hold some restraint here, not to necessarily all shout out on top of each other, but because we're talking about the driver pairings of the year, I want to offer up you guys the opportunity to nominate some driver pairings that you think fit this criteria the best. All right. So does that make sense? Fuck it. I don't care if it does. First question, which driver pairing has the best chemistry?
Bottas Perez.
Are you joking?
It will.
No,
What?
I think I like their chemistry.
I can't take him anywhere.
Name a better combo.
Name a better combo.
It's tough because they're all pretty bad.
Maybe I'll give that. Yeah, it is tough. Oh,
Because I don't think Hammy
okay.
and Charles is because the
They
age
have
gap's
no
too big.
chemistry.
Yeah, true.
I think
George
and
Hold on.
Kimmy is good because
Stop.
Kimmy
Shut-
knows.
Shut the
Everyone
fuck
shut
up.
the fuck up.
Did you just call him Hammy? I don't think Hammy. Oh, Jesus, man. Fucking hell.
Only Kim's allowed to call him that.
Hamadashian is that their name?
Yeah.
Hamadashian.
It's like,
Oh,
she
you're gonna make
literally
that
goes,
stick.
hammer time. Hammer time.
Yeah. Which driver pairing is likely to properly hate each other
Hammer time comes at
by
the end.
round 3 Bahrain?
Well, I think the obvious answer
Oh,
would be
Liam Lawson and Lindbad.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. I can see
Otherwise, Oscar and
Yep.
Lando, if Oscar throws some balls.
that. Okay. Not that ever let anyone know that they don't, get along. Or
I
that
love
might
it.
not
I
get
just
like
mean
along.
a
I'm
brother.
hoping. I think that round 3 is probably a bit soon, but I feel like if it continues like it has been, something's got to give.
Oh, well, like I said earlier, I think Oscar's gone by the end of the year. Do you know who I think is going to be the biggest blow up of the year? It'll be Stroll and Alonso. I think they're both going to be so frustrated and so done with the car that they'll end up. Yeah. Remember how Alonso got with, was it Ocon? Were they both driving at Alpine?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He got real mouthy with him.
Yeah.
And he was like, look at this fucking idiot.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah,
reason
he went
I
over
don't
the
think
top
so
in
is
at
that
Monaco.
is
No,
that
that was
Alonso
Gasly and
seems
Ocon.
weird. Alonso seems weirdly cool with Lance. Like he's always super positive with Lance.
He always-
That's
yeah.
because
He's
it's
the
his
Bills,
boss's
bro.
son.
Yeah, so I just
yeah.
either he's just happy to have another fucking story on his house or something. I don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but he
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
very chill about it
Okay.
all.
I
Next
needed
one,
6 stories.
Next one. Which driver pairing is the most stylish or the most handsome?
Lewis and Charles.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard to
100%.
beat. Hard to
Yeah.
beat. Yeah. What else we got? I mean, I was
Not going to
obviously when
lie,
I was
the
doing
Cadillac's
Oh, yeah?
merch
What
is
are you
pretty sweet.
Oh, okay. The style, the Tommy Hilfiger stuff. I agree. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else has much style, do they?
I
What
think
about-
Russell's
what about
pretty
Ga-
good.
Gasly and
George is-
Colapinto might. Gasly's pretty
Gasly's
stylish.
French,
Well,
so
he
you
was
just
when he
assume
was
he's pretty stylish.
Yeah.
Yep. All
I
right,
just
now we'll give
forgot
that to
Gasly was
Ferrari.
even racing.
It'll be the one and only thing Ferrari might win this year. Hey, which driver pairing has the biggest personality mismatch?
Alonso and Stroll. Anybody in Stroll.
We don't really know. Can we just speak about Stroll and how little we never see him, right? Like, you really don't get a lot from him. Somebody mentioned during the week, and I think you guys mentioned it off camera, but Stroll is the only driver account not followed by the F1. Is that the stuff that's just come out during the week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Apparently
I don't
so.
think
Feels like
that's
it's
a
on
normal
purpose.
He might have.
thing.
Yeah, he might have like
He's just
how you
blocking
can
everybody.
block.
Yeah,
it.
he
Maybe
may
he
have
has
some
yeah,
sent
he's
a
like,
request.
yeah. All right. Which driver pairing would you most want to be sat in between on a long haul economy flight? Well, I know Diggs doesn't want to sit next to Lewis. He's been stuck in
No.
the cab with him since Abu Dhabi.
I would love to sit next to Lando and Oscar and just try and rile them up a bit. Especially
And
give
just stir
Lando,
the pot.
give Lando a few
Yeah.
champagnes and goes, geez, Lando, you
Yeah.
were just so good last year. I know why anyone thought Oscar could beat you, right? Like, Oscar, you got to admit, man, like, he's pretty good.
I would
And
love
just let
if
it happen.
I would love to sit, if it wasn't based on pairings, but 2 people on the grid, I'd love to be between
Just change the
Hamilton
question, man.
and Max, and
That's not the
always
question.
always refer to Hamilton as 8 world champion
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
front of
good
Max.
from you. That
Yeah,
joke's only
yeah.
5 years old. Hey,
Yeah.
the only
I
one
wanna be-
that
wait,
actually
I wanna-
matters.
No one
Do you wanna-
forgets.
do you wanna hear-
Oh, sorry,
do you wanna
F,
hear
go.
me?
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
I want to be sitting in first class, but I'm sitting next to Fernando Alonso, and
Lying
it's
next
like
to
the
him.
end of Inception where we look over our shoulder, and it's Lance, and like Lance is behind us, and then Lance like looks confused, and it's like,
Yeah.
we just had a private joke.
Yeah,
Like
dreaming
me
a
and,
dream.
me and Flando here, we're sitting next to each other, and we
Flando.
by like we just look over and just give a
That's
nod.
good. Who's spinning the top?
That's
I
right.
honestly thought Ev was going down the route of I'm sitting in first class with Lonzo like it's Inception, and everyone just wakes up and looks at me, and we all just nod like I'm meant to be there. And that was like his wet dream or something.
I'm a racer
Yeah.
too.
Mix that. Mix that. Hey, okay, here's the last one and the only one
Now
that
that like
actually
they
matters.
overbook flights and like I just got upgraded. I don't know what I'm doing here. Where's the bathroom?
With that small
I don't know where
glass
the
of
bathroom
wine
is.
like he's holding right now.
Which driver pairing would you fuck, marry, or kill? I'm joking. Don't answer that. We're going to move to the next one. Right.
Which sisters?
We're going to talk quickly about the
Lewis.
regs. We're going to talk about testing. We're going to talk about the Mercedes situation, which I think is worth touching on. I mentioned at the top of the episode, and it's been heralded time after time in the media, these new regs and the cars are the biggest thing in F1 this year. I think it's fair to say that this is the one that is going to either elevate all the great work from Formula One and Liberty Media since prying it out of the dying hands of Bernie E, or absolutely destroy it for a few years, particularly for those influencers, not influenza. There's no middle ground. Before we try and explain what's actually changed, let's hear from the people who actually have to drive these things. So 3 quotes in order of confidence. First is Lewis. It's like we all need a degree to fully understand it. Max Verstappen jumped in. It's no fun at all. What should I say? It's like Formula E on steroids. It's not the original F1 feeling. And Alonso also kind of jumped in, and one of you guys quipped about what he said earlier, but driver skill matters less. It's like a robot driving. Now, I'm not going to pretend I fully understand these regs, and I don't want us to labour on this for long because none of us probably do, but here's our plain English attempt. The power unit is now genuinely half electric, so 50% of the power you're watching come out of these cars is coming from a battery. They're all effectively driving multi-million-dollar Toyota Priuses. Ev, what's the go here? So as least technical as possible, because I think if you start trying to be technical, you're making it up. But what's the issue, and what's with the comparison to Formula E here?
Well, it's about the deployment of the electrical power, which is already changed. They've already, in the testing...
What, since the weekend?
Yeah. They've changed it from, it used to be 350 kilowatts of power, which would run out very quickly because it
would like run out halfway down the straight, right?
So
That's
now
what they were saying.
They've lowered it to 300 kilowatts, which should last like 2/3 of the back straight instead of half.
Right.
Which should...
Wasn't it like the slowdown of the power running out was almost like as if the cars were brake checking?
Yeah,
like it was that such a reduction in speed.
There was a technique they called power maxing or something, where you could regenerate power
by braking.
And by going down the straight. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And that has been increased. They've since realized that needs to be a norm as opposed to an outlier. So look, it's all bad though. None of this is
good news. Yeah, fuck. All right, pessimist Ev here. Another big change that I picked up on is the little wing flap thing that you see opening, which people call the DRS, the active aero. So, correct me if I'm wrong. In its place, the entire aerodynamic package now opens and closes depending on what the car is doing. So if it's a tight corner, the aero locks down and grips the track. If it's a long straight, it opens up. But you don't have to press the button anymore. Is that right? They're calling it Z mode for corners, and I think it was X mode for straight. So for me, it'd be button mashing on a PlayStation control. But Diggs or Ev or Tay, does any of this mean anything to any of you?
One thing that I got confused about, and maybe you guys can clear it up for me, is that they made it sound like there was no DRS, or this wasn't reliant on...
There is no DRS.
DRS points, that this was at any time, Yeah,
right. So there's no speed traps, Ev. So there's no moment where...
I actually don't know if it's automatic, but yes, it's cornering mode and straight mode.
Straight line mode.
And...
so there are no DRS zones?
No. Well, besides the fact that it's a straight, and so but you know how
there was all those issues a couple of years ago where drivers would brake
within
so
a second.
You time your overtake, to get the DRS.
No. You get extra power if you are within a second, and you get the overtake.
and that's where the zones are. So there is an overtake button where you press that allows you, but you can only do them in certain places.
So
I think that's sort of similar to the DRS
this is what they
thing,
mean
but it's
by
not called that.
Right?
This was demonstrated by, I think, Liam Lawson on Valtteri Bottas, where he came up behind Bottas, halfway down the track, the back straight, pulled out to do an overtake.
Presses the button.
Neither of them have any power. because Bottas has used all of his power to defend. Lawson used all his power just to pull out and get side by side. He then had to pull back in the final third and then pull out for the corner, and he outbraked him.
Okay. So that's how
because he got a little bit extra draft by pulling back in. So whether or not the tactic is to just stay in the draft until the end anyway. We're not use your power in the next corner. Like, it's all about
two kind of key
tactics.
things, right? They're the two key changes. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other scientific crap.
Well, obviously the ground effect is no longer there.
As in, like so there's no ground the cars
effect.
Aren't as low anymore.
They don't sit as low; they sit higher, so it reduces the porpoising
so no
issues.
Porpoising.
Porpoising. Exactly.
No porpoising.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
my back.
in wrapping all of this up, gents, is this good for racing? Like, I mean, let's just, as a fan, as people that, as media, I mean, is this going to be good for racing or not, or way too early to call yet?
It's way too early to call. We need to see the races. Like, no one's racing yet, right?
Look,
is Melbourne the right track to see it though?
Nah.
Is that going to? Nah, I don't think so.
Why? Ev? Melbourne's not very good at harvesting electricity, because Melbourne is very. Every time you go through a corner at Melbourne, you already have to adjust for the next corner. It's not like at Bahrain or anywhere else, any of the modern tracks, where you get a straight and then a corner and then a long straight and then another corner. Like this one, you're always doing something. And so you're always braking, you're always on the throttle, you're always getting on the line. There isn't a place for you to harvest that energy. What I will say to your point, if you're Liberty Media, they're an investment. They're a hedge fund. This isn't a product that you can sell somebody else if you wanted to sell.
We'll find out soon enough. Hey, look, I want to fall back on Max for a second, who's continued to obviously be fairly outspoken about, well, actually throughout his whole career, but notably following the conclusion of testing, he's claimed that if he doesn't enjoy racing, he'll just leave. In fact, he said, 4 championships or 8 championships, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, who cares?
If the new regs don't work out.
Convenient.
Or they move too far away from what he has even established as real F1, does the sport and its fans risk losing the likes of the Maxes of the world because it stops feeling like driving a car and starts feeling like piloting a drone? I mean,
that's the thing, is like no one else can feel that apart from the drivers. So anyone watching it, as long as it's entertaining to watch, and there's characters that you either love or hate.
If it's going to be less entertaining, it doesn't. Yeah, but if then the argument would be, if you lose Max, you lose a big chunk of your audience. But like I said before, every time some big name leaves, some new one replaces them, and they
that's right.
As long as they're good at creating good drivers, like you know, it's like the NBA. Every time someone left, they've got a new
someone else comes through.
No one remembers.
Exactly.
I like it, Diggs. Hey, look, aside from the fuckery of getting used to these cars, there's 3 things I think that are worth just quickly covering off that have come out of testing sessions over the last few weeks. That I actually think are going to have fairly big bearings on the year. These are what I'm calling narratives to keep an eye on, or stories to watch unfold. And the first one, and I know we've kind of touched on this, so let's not labor on it, but Ferrari were the fastest at both Barcelona and Bahrain. Anyways, we've been here before, gents. We have absolutely blown our load before with Ferrari preseason pace. The question is this real? Diggs, is the Lewis redemption arc beginning, or are we about to do the same thing we always do, with the exception of you, who I realize I shouldn't have aimed this question at, and get our hearts broken by lap 15 in Melbourne?
Have we ever watched testing and look through the year and go, we should have seen that in testing and gone, that's the year ahead? It's never. Testing means as much as FP1 on, like, you know, Friday in Bahrain.
Yeah. Fair point. Yeah. I did see something recently that like the fastest in testing for like the last 10 years has never gone on to finish in like the top 3 of the, something stupid like that. Ev, I'm just going to throw to you just quickly as a Lewis romantic. Is there any hope? Is there any point in me getting excited?
I think anybody who can turn the car on that doesn't have ground effect, it's Lewis.
Can win. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
You bring up such a good point.
Well, I want you to finish your thought because obviously Ev brought up a point that you wanted to
Well,
add
what
to.
Ev was saying there about anyone that can win without ground effect is Lewis. And actually, there's been a lot of interesting talk about the fact that these new regs suit the older drivers.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I think is what
I was going
to.
Well, all drivers, not just the old
Yeah,
Okay.
I was going to add to that. But also, there's been sort of stats that show that this could be Lewis's year. So when he joined as a rookie,
buy into
he joined
anything
as a
to get that
rookie.
guy on
Second
a
year, he
podium.
won it.
Jesus,
Same with Mercedes. He joined Mercedes. Second, won it.
Yeah,
Listen,
man, we look for all
Digby,
patterns.
shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Hey, listen.
Did
Next
he
big
win
narrative.
when he was dating Kendall Jenner? No.
The Seahawks won. Ferrari won.
Yeah, true. Hey, look, next big thing, which I think is going to have pretty material impact, it's obviously still and around the regs and what's come out of testing, is Mercedes and the loophole. So the bookmakers currently have George Russell as the favourite for the Drivers' Championship, and the reason, or at least part of it, is a technical trick Mercedes are reported to have found, an engine compression ratio adjustment. I obviously Googled that. Is potentially worth apparently 3 or 4 tenths of a second per lap.
I got info
Ferrari
on
were
that.
furious. Red Bull were furious. Typically, even without Horner, it was Red Bull that went and dobbed them in. There's an FIA vote that's been scheduled later in the year. So the FIA have more or less said, fuck, I don't want to deal with this. Let's worry about it in a few months' time. And Toto Wolff, never one for drama, described it as, and I'm actually quoting him directly, utter bullshit. Which, if you're Toto and you designed this thing, is exactly what you'd say. Ev, is this genius? Is this cheating? Or is this just
clever?
Formula One?
It's super clever.
What's worrying, and what journalists aren't talking about, is that Mercedes came out and Toto Wolff came out and said, like, whatever your test is, let's do your test at whatever compression ratio you want. Because, like, if you read between the lines, they're confident, and they would be, because they would test it, they know better than anybody else, that they are going to pass whatever test you're going to give them for this. So whatever like blindside cheat they're doing, they are very confident.
I tell you what,
passing whatever revised test
you're talking
you've
about
got.
like the new car regulations possibly ruining F1. This is what ruins F1. Some fucking car maker makes a better car. They do their job and make a better car than you. And what do you guys all do? It must be cheating. We can't do that. It's like, fuck off. Let
Innovate.
it be faster.
Right.
And
Let
then
it be faster.
FIA comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always because Red Bull fucking complain too.
And you know what? FIA needs to deal with that correctly. Like, they shouldn't crumble to the pressure. Oh, we're voting. It's like, you do the test. Like, they're not cheating. You can't change the rules because you didn't foresee that someone was going to do such a good job. Yeah,
just tell everyone to fuck off.
Change your fucking car.
Hey, boys, third and final kind of big narrative to watch out for me. We've touched on it enough. I don't think we need to kind of dwell on it too much, but is that of Aston Martin. We noted earlier there appears to be real problems at the team. But think about what this actually is. It's the most expensive bet in modern motorsport, right? It's a $40 million designer. It's a billionaire's son in the car. It's a Honda engine that apparently can't do the one thing it's supposed to do, let alone the hundreds of millions of dollars that's been invested in building their factory and obviously getting this team set up. If this is still 4 seconds off pace in Melbourne, Tay, is this the most expensive disaster in the history of the sport? And do you think that they're going to turn it around?
I mean, I think you brought up the fact that what really matters during testing, like
mileage and reliability.
Right, but my point being, as in, anything can happen. They could get their shit together and it's all sweet come race season. So once the season actually starts. So, I mean, to be honest, who can really say at this point in time? Maybe ask me that again in 6 months' time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, listen, we're going to cover off our predictions for drivers and constructors champs next week, just before we dive into Melbourne. But for now, listeners, we're going to jump into probably what most people will recognize and know as the greatest the greatest quiz in all of podcasting. It is Has You Been Paying Attention? Digby, play that music for me, baby. Now, for those of you who are new to this segment, here's how it works. I ask questions. These idiots answers, points rewarded, arguments start. I maintain that I am the authority on all things and that my rulings are final and non-negotiable. Nobody
And then you
respects
change 'em.
this, but we carry on anyway. The standard rules for questions 1 through 6 is the first buzzer gets to answer. If you're right, you get a point. If you're wrong, I get to mock you and the question moves on. Simple, clean, dignified. However, questions 7 and 8 are what I'm calling the double down questions. You buzz in, you commit, you get it right, you score. Get it wrong, and you lose points. So if you're not sure, stay on your buzzer and let someone else take the hit. We're starting out fresh, clean slate, scoreboard at 0, previous glories and previous embarrassments gone. But before we do anything else, let's test the buzzers. Whatever noise, phrase, sound effect, or verbal disaster you've chosen as your buzzer for season 4, I want to hear it. The audience wants to hear it. Gents,
You're always
Tay,
up first.
you, sir, are up first. Give me your buzzer.
Why the
comes.
fuck am I up first?
Here
I
it
need to
comes.
know what the other boys are bringing.
Always. You have never let me down here. You have never let me down
He's
here.
also
Well.
never picked us up, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. I think maybe once I had a gooder.
Yeah,
True.
probably.
In light of Max, I am going to take a moment of his quote and say, "Who cares?"
I love the Office quote there. Who cares
Who
wins?
cares?
Nice.
Okay, who cares
Oh,
wins?
yeah.
I thought you were going to go change your fucking car.
Lets us down again.
No,
That's
because I
okay.
did
Yeah,
that all
that's okay.
last season.
Lets us down again.
Can't remember. I can't remember what we were talking about, but
Hey,
I wrote that down because
Digby,
I thought it was
what have you
funny at
got?
the time. It doesn't seem as funny now, but Hamilstrung.
I'm strong.
can we-
Okay.
Can we make a rule that Evs can't be Austin Powers related? Cannot be Austin Powers related.
Yeah.
I know.
He can
I
fuck
didn't know
off
we were
with that.
doing this. I've not
Yeah.
thought about it.
Of course, you didn't know.
Very quickly. I mean, this is the one stable. There's no way you can't
I
think
thought
about
this was like a-
before every week.
Ah.
Like, anyways, what do you got, buddy?
I have got, given that we're in Melbourne, I'm going to go with, I come
Who's
with the land
singing
down
that?
under.
You come with the land, as in like when the song's on.
Yeah, everyone can see you.
Fuck.
That's right. We have to go right.
Right,
Which
well-
side do we want? Right or left? Right
Yeah.
or left?
Yeah, that's
I
bad.
don't
It's
know
not
if
good
I've
for me.
heard
6 legs,
worse,
8 legs.
but let's go. Question 1. With
Ah.
24 races and 6 sprint weekends on the calendar,
Hamilstrung.
how
Strong
many
answers,
championship
yes.
points are
I
up for
already said
grabs
Hamilstrung.
across the entire 2026
462.
I come from land down under.
Wrong. Ev,
224.
your math ain't mathin'. Like you.
What is each race 10 points
What
for
was the
first?
question?
You wait, I didn't understand the question. I'm waiting for
No.
it. Here it comes. Tay,
Math.
Tay, quick.
Hang on. I'm gonna say because I can't quite know the numbers, but fuck. 630.
Fuck, I was well
Very
off.
close. I should have given to the closest,
I was-
but I didn't.
I was based on
so none of
18.
you are right.
I was thinking
the
it was
answer is
18.
648. So you get 25
God.
points per race winner. So that's obviously 24 races times 25. Gives you 600
is
plus 8
Ev's-
points
Yep.
for each
What
sprint
is
winner across
Ev-
6, which is 48. Question number 2. Have you paying attention?
No.
How many race wins did the top 3 constructors get between them across the
19.
entire 2025 season?
That's probably all. Yeah, probably all of them, but I'll go 19.
Nope. Wrong. Tay, Ev?
It's not your buzzer.
Trying to think. Who cares wins? I'm gonna say 21.
Nope. Ev?
I got no reaction. People know that Ollie reacts in a very obvious. He did not react then. I was going to say 22.
Was wrong, but why? What do you mean? Oh, because I'm supposed to like.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
obviously.
your face. Your
Sorry.
face. Your poker
Sorry.
face.
Yeah. I'm
It's
used to
because-
him giving away the answer.
Can I be really honest about why
He
I was
didn't.
distracted then? So there's a message in the chat on this fucking thing.
I did
But it's
that
from
like 10
Ollie.
minutes ago.
I know, but
Oh,
it's from
right.
me, and I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm like, when did I send that fucking
I thought that was
message?
you for so
And it's
long.
'cause- It's because Ev has my fucking name on the video. Fucking hell. The answer's 24, gents. The answer's 24 between McLaren. Who are the other two? McLaren, Red Bull, and.
That's so funny because
the
I was
team.
fucking.
I'm so distracted.
I was fucking myself up
Mercedes.
because I know Hulkenberg got a podium, but I thought he got first, and it was just a fucking podium.
All right, next question. It's still 0-0. How many races did Ferrari win?
Ollie
in
keeps
2025?
messaging in the chat. I don't know what to say.
Who cares wins?
Tay?
0.
Yeah, well done. It's obviously a trick question because the three constructors had won all 24 races between them. Right, 1-0 to Tay. Question number 4. How many current world champions are on the 26 Formula One grid?
Who cares wins?
Good question.
Ooh, Tay.
None of that.
What?
3.
Yeah, hurry up. No, wrong.
Go Digby. Digby was next.
Hamilton, Alonso, Lando Norris, and I can't remember the last one. And Max Verstappen. It was actually the second one I had in my head.
When was the last time a completely new constructor entered Formula One? Name the team and the year.
Who cares wins?
Yeah, I think
it
it
was
was
Tay.
Fuck.
I'm going to say Haas.
I can tell
Well
you.
done.
I
And
think I
when?
can tell you when they came in.
That's a great. I was going way further back than that. That's a
Were
great
you?
answer.
Yeah. What's the
I
right
think it
answer?
was-
I thought Jaguar and BMW. That's who I was going for.
I feel like it might have been around 2008, 2009.
2016, but you get the point anyway.
Ah,
Yeah, good
wow,
one.
that was much more
Like,
recent.
it's Rich.
Fuck.
Rich Energy Team, whatever that was. I'm like, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, good. Yeah, that was your mate. There you go. Yeah, so they joined. And actually, we've been waiting a decade for someone to join the party, and the team that
Yeah.
broke the drought is weirdly named after the same company whose name is in the title of this segment, which I find very poetic. Half truly
Yes.
gives and gives.
Do
Hey,
I still get a
question
point
6.
for that?
Yeah, I gave it to you.
Okay,
Yeah, you're up
nice.
2-1.
Nice.
Right, question
nice.
6. Name as many as you can reported links, exes, or romantic associations of Lewis Hamilton. Winner will be the one
Who
that
cares
names
wins?
the most. What do you got?
Kendall, Rihanna, Kim K, Rita Ora.
Skirt Singer. I can't give you that one. It's Skirt Singer. So.
Fuck, then there was some. Nicole Scherzinger.
Yeah, 5.
But he that was twice though. Does it count as
Nah,
twice?
it doesn't count. You don't get to name a person twice. Well, yeah, 5.
Someone
Nah,
else.
it can't be 5.
5 seconds more.
Yeah,
4,
I can't think of anyone else.
3, 2, 1. Diggs or Ev, can you beat 5? You can obviously rename them, but you've got to come up with one
I don't
more.
want to beat 5. I
So
should get
none
a
of you
point
can
for
name one more?
like
None of you can-
refusing to engage in this.
Okay. All right, so Tay
Ah.
wins that one. There was also Gigi Hadid, Jodie Marr,
Oh, yeah.
Danielle Lloyd, Sophia Richie,
Yeah, don't
Barbara
know those
Pavlin,
ones.
Camilla Kendra, and now, of course, Kim Kardashian. Right, gents, it is 3-1 to Tay with Digby on 1. Questions 7 and 8, double down zone. You get 2 points for the right answer, and you lose 2 points for the wrong. It means
still
it's
in it.
still anybody's game. Right, question 7. Recently, a Formula One driver had his car catch fire during an event in San
Who cares
Francisco. Which
Lose
driver
2
was
points.
it?
Come
Tay.
on.
What is this?
You
What are
don't get to jive in like that and break. 5,
Yeah.
4,
No,
3,
because I thought you were going to say
2,
Kimmy,
1,
and it was in
0.
Italy.
Tay loses 2 points. It's 1-1.
It's when you said San Fran, and I thought you were going with what happened to Kimmy.
Oh, you thought.
I fucking-
yeah.
yeah.
I come from land down under.
Yeah, what do you got?
If not Digby, I don't know if he got in.
Well, you're
I
in
didn't hear
now.
Diggs.
He's just.
I didn't hear
Well,
Diggs.
It's either
Because
Yuki
Ollie
or
nodded
the other
his
guy.
head.
No, you got to choose one. You don't get to
Well,
choose
I'm going to
both.
go with Yuki because I can't remember the
It
name
was.
of the other guy. Yeah, there you go. I won.
Okay.
2 points.
What other guy?
Yes. There was another guy.
I didn't realize there was an and coming. I was just like, yeah,
No,
that's
there was
right. Like,
another
why
guy
would you
there.
have? Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Yuki was
crushed
obviously
it.
at an
2-1-1.
event doing burnouts in his old Red Bull RB, not his, but the Red Bull RB7.
Yeah.
The car caught fire. Yuki got out. The car did not. He was fine. The car is not fine, apparently. Of many
How
questions,
funny.
none of
He
which
crashed
Yuki
it
has
twice.
chosen to answer. Yes. Question number 8, final question. It is Ev on 2, Digby and Tay on 1. This
Yeah, I
week, At a press conference, a Formula One team principal was asked about a controversial technical story surrounding their team. His response was, and I quote, "Maybe tomorrow they'll say I'm in the Epstein files."
It was on the panel, wasn't it? He made a joke about it on the panel. I didn't know the context. I just remember him saying
We
that.
literally posted about it on our socials.
No, I know, but I...
Once
No,
again.
but I didn't.
Digby,
I
you're
didn't
the
hear
winner. Let's go. Digby, well done, buddy.
I'd like to announce my retirement from Hospital.
Ding, ding, ding. There you go. Right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Good
All
start,
you
good
idiots out
start.
there, the winner is Digby. The scores stand. My ruling is final. Season 4 is off to a flying start. Now, look, let's quickly shift the questions to the headlines. Let's find out what's been Verstappen in. For the newcomers, this is our version of Pardon the Interruption. 4 topics, fast takes, no filter. I'll give you the context, and each of these idiots has got 30 seconds to tell me. The good thing is I've got a clock right in front of me what they think. We're not here for, well, on the one hand, we're not here for the nuance. We're here for the chaos, the conviction, and the occasional accidental insight. 4 topics, let's go. Number 1, Horner's comeback. Christian Horner was dismissed from Red Bull after the British Grand Prix. 20 years, 8 world titles. Gone since then. He's been busy. He's cleared the Verstappen family of any involvement in his dismissal, pointing the finger directly at Red Bull CEO Mintzlaff and Helmut Marko as the architects of the whole thing. And more recently, reports are circulating that Alpine have been in conversations with Horner about a team principal role in the second half of this year. Alpine, the team currently being run by Flavio Briatore, a man who himself was banned from the sport for race fixing and somehow came back. A team that, by all accounts, needs a leader. Gents, does F1 miss Christian Horner, and should he be back? Tay, 30 seconds on the clock now.
I wouldn't be opposed to him coming back, but I feel like he'll only come back if he has a stake in an actual team, and that means ownership.
Yes. Yep. Do you think that he's missed in the F1 world? Like, you think it's a big loss for him? For us, sorry.
I don't think
Or
anyone
sport.
misses him on the paddock, but I think if Drive to Survive was to still
Bring him back.
continue on.
Yes, he should just take that Alpine spot, even if it means it's like a sinking ship. F1 misses him. We miss him. How many times does Ev love watching Christian Horner stand in that spot in the garage with everyone clearing the runway for him? How many times do they talk to him on the grid walk, and he's always got something very insightful to say, even if it's just to make himself look good. He is a great mouthpiece for the sport, and he was one of the most famous people in the sport until he left.
Yeah.
Get him back.
Fair enough. Evan, quick, 30 seconds, go. Both those boys are on time.
I think it's pretty gross that he talked about it got taken away from him in unfinished business. Really unfinished business? Meanwhile,
Keep going.
no, I think it's been established nobody misses him.
Topic number 2. Still driving and surviving.
That's fine.
8 seasons in, Drive to Survive has become one of the most polarizing things in Formula One. Drivers hate it, fans love it. The sport has never been bigger, and nobody can agree on whether those two things are connected. Drive to Survive Season 1 dropped in 2019. Season 8 drops this Friday, same day as this episode. Get this in first. Has it peaked? Is it as good as what it was? And this is the only one I actually want to answer.
It's the only reason that I got into F1. Up until that, I couldn't give a shit, but now I really don't enjoy. I didn't even watch Drive to Survive last year. When you already know what happens, it takes all the excitement out of the TV. So it's great. It's great to keep around because you might get some new people every year, but I don't think there's any need to watch it as a fan like us who we don't miss any races.
Yeah. Fair call. I think it's way too manufactured. Tay.
I loved the early seasons, but I that was mainly because I hadn't watched F1 for a while. So it was a nice stepping stone to get back into it after not watching it for a period of time. Last season was probably the worst one yet. I really didn't like last season. I'll give this season a go, but as for how long I stay in it, it might be one of those put it on the background and just continue on. What they need to do is produce episodes during the season rather than doing it almost
less
6
time,
months
less time
later.
to warp in the narrative that they knew what was going to happen.
exactly.
Ev, you go. 30 seconds.
Was the first season the one where Max beat Lewis?
First season was Danny
No.
and Max.
Was that the second season?
That was
2018 was
Right.
first season.
So my point being, the
2018.
first season was incredible
yeah.
because that was the first time ever
Yeah.
we've seen that.
get a real insight to it.
And then you had the narrative of the Max versus Lewis. Ever since then, there's been nothing to talk about.
That's true.
How do you make a drama where there's nothing to talk about?
True. Well, I think maybe that's why they had to manufacture so much of it. All right, topic number 3. People doing some crazy shit. Jack Doohan, son of Monaco GP legend Mick Doohan, dropped by Alpine after 6 races, now named as Haas reserve driver, revealed this week that while he was at Alpine, he received death threats. His words, 6 or 7 emails saying, if I'm still in the car by Miami, all my limbs will be cut off.
Were they from Flavio, by the way? Did we ever establish they were from Flavio?
And Formula One has spent the last decade making itself more accessible. Drive to Survive, as we've just alluded to, social media, getting the drivers out in front of cameras, movies, fan events, TikTok. The stars are more reachable than they've ever been. And alongside that, this death threats, online abuse, armed security for a rookie who just wants to drive a car. Has social media and the push to make F1 stars more accessible made the sport better or worse?
If you choose a job, a luxury job, which puts you in the spotlight, it comes with these things. The difference between now and 30 years ago, it's really easy to make a death threat on a tweet. But in 1991, if you wanted to write a letter to Alain Prost that you were going to fucking murder him, geez, you got to feel like you wanted to fucking kill him. So
I'd be curious to know why his has become a thing, because I guarantee you Max has received shit. Lando has received shit. So why is his situation being flagged more in this? I remember it got brought up back then.
But I have a feeling that it's been raised as...
So it's a way to make everyone watch Drive to Survive.
Suspicion Drive to Survive might cover it. So you know that how like these things work in the news cycle, it might have just come around. Ev, is this just part and parcel of the Liberty Media experiment of making F1 more accessible, and to Digby's point, part of being an athlete, or people just need to shut the fuck up
on Twitter, or
to troll you.
Some Russian bot farm whose only job is to stir shit.
Yep.
If you don't care what they say about you when it's positive, don't care when it's negative. You shouldn't
be offended by people whose opinions are invalid.
No one does.
Yep.
And irrelevant.
He doesn't deserve... Yeah, he doesn't deserve this, nor does it deserve our time to hear about it.
No, it's good. Okay, that's what we're here
Finally,
for.
Evan, relevant point.
Right.
You're welcome. It is the last time.
Right, topic and last one, Ride to Survive. Doesn't have quite the same ring to it.
No, it doesn't.
Speaking of Liberty Media, let's end on this one.
Blue.
You may remember we reported last year that Liberty completed the purchase of MotoGP for 4.2 billion euros back in July. This week, the sport was formally renamed. It's now called MotoGP Sport Entertainment. And Liberty have announced publicly that they intend to follow the same playbook they used to transform Formula One. More markets, more events, more content, more Drive to Survive equivalents, more of everything. Now, if they do MotoGP, exactly what they did to F1.
How many different sports? How many different sports have tried this model, and how many do you care about?
0 fucks.
Well, there you have it. The last of the headlines to keep you idiots up to date. And with that is that. Season 4, episode 1 of The Idiots of F1, done and dusted. Pretty substantial episode for you to rip through, but there's a lot to cover. Massive thank you to the team. Tay, Ev, Digby, welcome back. Genuinely glad you're still here. Genuinely surprised this is still happening. And to everyone listening, thank you. Season 4, you came back. That's on you. From wrapping up 25 and getting into the grid, the new regulations, the testing headlines. We played the first Huss. You've been paying attention. Well done, Digby, of the season. And we yet again ensured you know what's happening. It's been a big few weeks in F1, and it's only going to get bigger from here. Next week, we're going to be back with a preview of the Melbourne Grand Prix, where we'll be running through everything you need to know before the season actually starts, including our wild predictions. But before we go, the call to action. And I'm only going to make this one count because it's the season opener and first impressions matter. If you enjoyed this episode, or even if you didn't, but you respect the commitment, please subscribe, follow, leave a review, tell a friend, tell a stranger, tell someone
some money at the Patreon.
With that, as is becoming tradition, we close every episode of Idiots of F1 with one thought completely unrelated to motorsport. And this week's is, nobody has ever said, I'll just have one chip, and meant it. Not once in the history of humanity. The chip bowl is a lie, and we all agree to tell ourselves. That's it. That's the thought. Good night. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Don't contact me on the street.